We are live here with Gerard and Duncan from Ippon Australia, and we're having a discussion today about a new initiative that they've kicked off relatively recently, I think in the last year or so, Duncan, this 4-day work week. And we were keen to understand a bit more about that, what it is, why you've done it, and what it's all about. Before we get into that, though, Duncan, you're the MD for Ippon Australia. Welcome. And Gerard, what is your official title now?
I'm the head of technology for Ippon
Head of
Australia.
technology, an absolute show off. Lovely. Duncan, did you want to give us a quick rundown on who Ippon Australia are?
Absolutely, and thanks for making the time for this conversation today, Simon. So Ippon Australia is a technology consultancy that works with our clients to help them move the needle in how they engage with their clients using tech, usually through the creation of digital products. We do that by leveraging capabilities across 3 practices that we have. They include experience design and product, software engineering and cloud, and data-driven architectures, and then form small cross-functional teams from those capabilities to help our clients achieve the goals that they're looking to achieve.
Beautiful. And what kind of projects might there be? What sort of challenges are you solving for them?
Yeah, it's interesting. We work on various different challenges. Most of them are related to the creation of some sort of product, as I said. Sometimes they are creating products that are internally focused. We've worked with some very large retailers in Melbourne doing that. And sometimes they're products that are externally focused. And again, some very large entertainment organisations that we've worked with in the Australian marketplace to help drive outcomes in that space. Our engagements can be working very closely in collaboration with client delivery teams, or sometimes they're clients saying to us, here is a contained piece of work. Can the Ippon team deliver that for us, holus bolus?
Beautiful. Thank you. And Gerard, over to you. With that in mind, that sort of work that you do, what sort of people would enjoy that work? For anyone listening who thinks that kind of sounds interesting, what kind of people enjoy the work? That kind of.
I think, fundamentally with consulting, it's people that enjoy that kind of problem solving, those problem solving situations that can occur on a client side. So it's about being very reactive. It's about learning new technologies very quickly and being able to provide advice to clients very quickly. So like for me, one of the strengths of consulting is that kind of challenge for you. It's not, you're going to be doing the same thing day out for the next 5 years. It's that every week there's something new, a new problem to solve for a client, a new technology to learn and apply. It's those are the kind of people that we're sort of interested in.
Beautiful.
You often have to be comfortable being a little bit uncomfortable, don't you, Derek?
And probably the old cliche, no 2 days the same. I don't know why I did that. That's 4. No 4 days the same either. Beautiful. And with that in mind then, Dung, you recently kicked off this 4-day week initiative. What was the rationale or the thinking behind that?
Yeah, it's really interesting. So as a little consultancy here in Melbourne, we're actively looking to grow. And we're out there, like everyone else in this industry, trying to find really fantastic people who are aligned with what we're trying to achieve. And we considered what was the core characteristic that we were really looking for in these people. And we decided that one of those core characteristics was this idea of passion. Now, unfortunately, that wasn't sort of mind-blowing because everyone's after passionate people. However, in the majority of situations, what we were finding is that manifests itself in a job ad that has a first or second sentence that says something like, we're looking for passionate people. And a more wasted sentence you just couldn't find because everybody wants passionate people. Let's just save the characters for something else.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we tried to get semi-intelligent about it and think about a proxy for passion. And as a team, the idea we came up with was time. What passionate people are really missing is time. And the reason they're missing time is because they really want to spend time on other things. And that might be putting some time into their side hustle or spending more time with their family or working on their skills as a pianist to be able to play Beethoven's Fifth at a concert level. Who knows? But it's time. And then we asked ourselves, well, how can we demonstrate very publicly to the market that we acknowledge that and we want people who have full lives, if that makes sense, to be joining us? And we did that by making the 4-day-a-week program, by creating the 4-day-a-week program, which is fundamentally different to other programs because it makes the 4-day-a-week the standard. There is never any question at Ippon Australia. If you want to work a 4-day a week, you just work a 4-day a week.
Okay.
If you want to work a 5-day a week, 5 days a week, then we have a conversation about that.
Yep.
You know, but the 4-day a week is the standard.
Beautiful, cool. And so, Gerard, you're doing the 4-day thing. Used to do the 5 days. How's that transition been for you?
It's been a while in terms of working the 5 days. Well, I was going to say, I work for 4 days at Ippon Australia, and the additional day that I have on Friday I spend with my kids. So it's a different kind of work, but it's also very taxing, but it's sort of different in some respects.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that for almost 5 years now, and I actually transitioned to a role at Ippon Australia with that in mind.
Right.
And it was really interesting in the marketplace looking for companies. When I was looking that sort of had a 4-day thing, and a lot of companies initially would just this is a 5-day role.
Yeah.
We're not interested in this at all. Because they're sort of stuck in that mentality where it's like you've got to be at your desk from 9 till 5:30 every day,
Yeah.
and they need to see you to be productive, to make sure that you're being productive.
Yeah.
And for at Ippon Australia, I think it's worked really well for us. We haven't had any issues in terms of, I don't think we've run into one client where it's been an issue for them saying that I only work 4 days a week. No one's come back and gone, we need him for 5 days. You guys can't have this piece of work. So I think that's been really good from our perspective as a business, and obviously from my personal.
Yeah, beautiful. And in terms of the fine print around that, Duncan, you mentioned that if people want to go to 5 days, they can. You just have a discussion about it. So everyone's coming in on a 4 days initially.
Well, no, not everyone is coming on a 4-day a week approach initially. In fact, let's be very candid. Only about a quarter of the people in Ippon Australia currently work a 4-day week. Yeah. But aspirationally, we want the majority of people to work a 4-day week. Okay. And it's something that I am actively looking at undertaking myself, hopefully in the next year or so. And it's something that we really want to talk to people about, because what we're finding is that when you have people who want to work a 4-day week, what they're doing is they're trading off money for time, because the idea, Simon, is a better life. The execution is actually just part-time work. Like you just paid pro rata. And I think in a consulting capacity, that it's fairly clear the way in which that would work. But if you do have those people who are prepared to at least engage in a discussion around the trade-off between time and money, then I think that's a really good indicator of the type of person that we're interested in having a conversation with, even if that then results in them for periods of time, for whatever reason, working a 5-day week. Like I'm cool with that too. But the fact that we're having the conversation is the really important point.
It's interesting as well, isn't it? I think obviously I know from personal experience. I think you've got a pretty low turnover for a consultancy per se, and I think often people think about a career in consulting. Long hours. Gerard, I know we've had this conversation before. Long hours. Customers expect more from consulting firms than they do from their own people. And so I think you sort of see a fair bit of burnout in consulting world. Quite often we talk to people who go, I've done 3 or 4 years in consulting world, and I feel like I've done a decade. And so maybe the 4-day week is a way for people to build that career, build a longer term career in consulting without having the burnout. So potentially sort of best of both worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're looking to get people on board for the long term. So that aligns very well with us.
Yeah. For people who are watching and don't necessarily understand the broader Ippon story, how many consultants globally now?
We're at about 450 around the globe. The company's headquartered in France, and the majority of the team are based across a number of offices in France. But we also have a decent presence on the east coast of the US. We've got a few people in Russia, and we've got a small group of people down in Morocco as well. So a really interesting geographic distribution to our company. Beautiful.
That's fantastic. And I think I'm hoping that anyone watching this might think this is an interesting discussion to have. We'll put a link to the website in the comments here if people are watching this on YouTube, and obviously we'll be sharing this with people as well. So, Gerard, Duncan, thanks for your time. As ever, absolute pleasure to see you, and I will speak to you soon.
Thank you, Simon. See you, mate.